JC Solo Derek Taki Porogni gibi bir seri verisi Esati Fiora Weba No matter where Gang me what it's not a beast Ready before to gay Agu se si Christ not matter no matter me what it's not a beast Ready before to gay Gagu se si Christ not matter Niye agiri so ready to go Uwa to fiti Enne associati O arirukuru Nawarun nawerguru Kiye agiri so Erubaba to go Uwa du fiti Nore ibarare Enne associati O
Depression. There are many possible causes of depression. It's believed that several different forces can interact to bring on depression due to the millions, even billions of chemical reactions going on in our brain that can affect how we process situations and experience life. Whether it be traumatic moments or simply just seasons changing, all is said to be causes of depression. The perplexing studies behind depression certainly shouldn't be dismissed, but beyond the physical factors of mental illness come the spiritual factors. Behind all the physical aspects of depression is an evil spirit that brings constant thoughts of sadness, crying spells, insomnia, discouragement, and forces you to do your best to manage the symptoms and hope things get better eventually. Depression has stolen your joy, hobbies, pleasures, quality time with family and loved ones. Depression has stolen your life, and it's not fair. You feel devastated, misunderstood, and alone. You've tried doctors, medication, and just shaken it off like everyone says, but nothing works. You're exhausted and longing to go back to a time when you were once happy. Join us at a universal church near you. We have an inspiring message and strong deliverance prayers for you or a loved one you know who is currently experiencing depression. Don't lose hope. We know there is a way out of depression. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Depression can be defeated. It's time to end depression and begin living. Sunday at 10 a.m. at a universal church near you.
Buenas and half a day. It's Saturday. We usually don't come out at this time, 6 p.m. But today, for an unusual purpose, a very important purpose, for an extraordinary reason, we want to show you that you can put an end, you can say enough to depression, sickness, addiction. You can say enough and really put an end to a lot of the messed up things that have been happening inside of your house, inside of your family. My name is Pastor Samuel. I'm here from the Universal Church in Dededo. And today we are joined with Brittany Ann, who is here in our studios. We're live. And She's going to tell us a little bit about her life and also how this small word had a lot to do with her change, how things took a turn for the better, even though there were a lot of things that made her life bitter over the course of the years. We're live right now. It's 6:06 p.m. Here in Guam. I just came back from a wonderful meeting in Palau, our first gathering of faith and miracles in Palau. In a minute, we're going to show you the picture of our event out there in Palau. It was a blessing. But even though we had a lot of rain, a lot of things try to get in the way, but that did not stop those people from coming out and joining us. So let's get into today's guest and what she has to say about this. Brittany, we have some questions out for all the viewers to know a little bit about your story. And also, if anybody out there is watching and they want to be a part of this, you want to ask her a question live, you can do so in the comments below. You can write a question, and as she's sharing her story, you can help her do the same and share this story with friends and family, with your classmates, co-workers. If you're watching here on Guam, or maybe you're watching off island, you're watching in a different city, in a different state, you have the chance of joining in. We're live right now. Like I said, it's 6:07 p.m. here in the island of Guam, and she's going to share a little bit about her story, and also about what this word here had to do with the change. All right. So, Brittany, we have a list of around 4, maybe more questions, but let's take it as it goes. All right. Let's go here to the first question of this afternoon. So tell us where you're from. We have a few flags here on our table. Which flag here has to do with you? Which one? Let me flip it over for you to see.
This one.
This one. All right. Let's show everybody the flag that has to do with Brittany. Let's see here. The flag of Chuk State. All right. So you are Chukis, or your family's Chukis? How does it work?
My mom is Chukis and my dad is Samoan.
American Samoan or Samoan?
American Samoan.
All right. So you've been out there to American Samoa?
No.
You've been to Chuk?
Yes.
All right. And you were born where?
I was born here on Guam.
All right. Raised here as well, or raised in FSM?
Raised here as well.
Born and raised here in Guam, and also having a family out there in the FSM. What about your family out there in American Samoa? They're from Apia, they're from Pago Pago, they're from where?
They're from it's like the outer island of American Samoa.
I didn't even know American Samoa had
Yeah.
outer islands. So where they're from again?
Manua.
Manua.
Yes.
How far is that from the main island?
I think it's not too far because you can ride a boat there, just like how it is in Chuk.
Okay, so maybe a few hours,
Yeah.
not more than a day.
Yeah.
All right. And you also have family out there in the capital, or?
Yes. A lot of them we're from Manua, but a lot of them also live in the capital for like work and stuff.
Okay, what do they do out there? Like fishing or what?
So they're teachers there. Yeah.
Okay.
They're police officers.
A little
out
bit
there.
of everything.
Yeah.
All right. Small island, but we could say a very close community.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there anything that you see that is very interesting that you're proud of about your islands, both Chuk State and also American Samoa, both your heritage?
I like a lot of things. It's everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there
Not the bad things, but
Okay,
yeah.
not the bad thing, but is there something in specific? Okay, this one here, this makes me proud of being from this island, or this one here makes me happy about it, or what is it for you? Everybody's different. Some people say it's the food, some people say it's the music, some people say it's the crafts. What is it for you?
So for my dad's side, um I like their how we dress, like
So
our clothing.
fashion.
Yeah, our fashion, and also
We're gonna get into that in just a minute.
yeah.
But keep going.
But also for my dad's, my mom's culture, right? We
Hmm.
respect women more.
What do you
I
mean?
mean, I mean, we respect men like a lot. Where men, they're like really respected. Like for example,
In the Chuukese culture.
yeah. For example, if we were to serve during a party or something, the men eat first. That's how it is in my mom's culture. But
In
for
other places, it's ladies first, right?
my dad's is ladies first. Ladies are really important
Uh-huh.
in my dad's culture.
And there, and that's something that you admire, that you respect.
Yeah.
All right. And is there something that is unique to, like, that you don't find in other places?
For like with my dad, right? I see like the most respect from him. I don't know how to explain it, but like my dad is a really like respectful man,
Mm.
and I see the way he treats women, especially in my mom's family.
So it's like kind of, you in our days when you see a lot of family violence, it's not something that you
It's kind of like different because in my mom's family, she respects her brothers more, but my dad comes in and he like he shows like a different something different there. I don't know how to explain.
so like a deeper respect for the family and all that.
Like something that I don't always see with my mom's family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're not talking bad about it, but it's just a fact.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a little bit about both her culture, a bilateral culture from one side of the ocean and the other side of the ocean, from one side of American Samoa, right? And the other side of the FSM in Chuuk State. Let's go here to the second question of the day. When did your problems start? So for everybody is different, and for you it would be the same, meaning somebody at a given moment in their lives is gonna hit a bump in the road. So when did you start noticing that you hit yours?
Um
And it could be like some from childhood or further down the road.
when my parents started having problems in their relationship.
And that you're one of how many?
I'm one of, with my mom's marriage now, 7, but with just my dad, one of 5. The oldest,
So 12
7.
or 7 with your mom.
And then with my dad, 5.
So 2 with your mom and 5 with your dad.
7 with my mom and then 5 with my dad.
So 12 in total.
No, I mean like my dad only got 5 kids.
Uh-huh.
My mom has 7 kids. The 5 plus her 2 with her current marriage now.
Okay, so but with half brothers as well, how many you have?
7.
With half brothers.
Mhm.
Okay. So growing up in a big family, you also have cousins, right? Then what did you start seeing that was affecting your family? And don't forget, by the way, those of you who are watching, if you want to join in on this conversation, if you want to ask Brittany a question, if you want to join in here on Micronesia Time, you can send us a message, and it will be read here in the comments below. And we're gonna be talking more about her problems and also the solution that was found for her. Pastor Dennis, please get that picture ready of let me know when it's up for the event in Palau. All right. So you told me a little bit about the issues that were going on with your parents. What was happening?
So my mom was having an affair,
Mm.
and that's what, they were having problems because of that. And then everything was just crazy in the house, like fights and everything.
Like verbal, physical, or what was it?
It was both.
Both.
Hmm.
Okay. This is stuff that you witnessed or you just heard about it?
Some I witnessed.
What did you remember of the stuff that you saw?
My dad putting his hands on my mom.
Okay. Did that make you feel like, wow, all hell broke loose, families trash, that there's no hope, no help, or no?
So me, I'm a very family oriented person. But so I really take so much pride in my family, because I also have like some of my cousins and some friends will come up to me and they would tell me that they admire my family, because we together, we're like, us kids, we're really happy. So when that happened, it did really like break my heart, and also my siblings.
And then what took place after that? That's where it began. So this is where your problem started. So you're
Mhm.
talking about um, uh, issues with relationships that ended up in family violence that broke out into other things. And what were those other things?
I got really depressed.
How old were you?
I think I was 14.
14 years old. Okay, you were going to school, right? Where at?
FB. That's when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm. And as you grew up in middle school, you thought that happened in every household or just yours?
I didn't really care to think about others, because I was going through everything myself. So I didn't really think about all of that.
So you're more trying to solve your problem.
Hmm.
Okay, so you're getting depressed. You're seeing that what you love the most is falling apart, and it it gets worse, or not really.
Hmm.
So where did it go downhill from there?
Um, to when my dad got sick
What did he get sick with?
with cancer.
With cancer.
So so I took care of him myself, and this was still during the time where I was still depressed, and I had like so much hate in my heart
Hate against who? Over what?
against my mom
Because of the
and
whole.
her other. Yeah.
But you thought that was the reason why he got sick?
He was like really heavy on alcohol, and that was the reason why
So he
he.
had like cirrhosis of the liver or something like that.
Yeah. So um during the time when my mom left the relationship, me and her never like saw eye to eye. We were always like, I never wanted to see her.
Even though you lived in the same place.
No, we didn't live. I didn't live with her.
You lived with your dad. So they had already separated.
Hmm.
Okay. So you didn't want to be around your mom. You didn't want to see her. Conversations were not there, right? What else?
I was really bad to her, like very disrespectful.
Was that your way of kind of like getting revenge?
Mm.
And did it work? Did you feel like, okay, I'm gonna make you feel like trash because of the way you made me feel like trash, so I'm gonna get revenge? Did it make you complete?
Because I know my mom really loves me. So I knew that if I was to do that or like, ignore her and stuff, it'll hurt her. So it did make me feel it made me feel good.
But afterwards, you were still angry,
Yeah.
so it didn't solve your problem.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, what about concerning your relationship with your dad? And tell me about this depression that you had. How bad was it?
So I was really I was really depressed to the point where I became suicidal.
And how old were you when you said you were suicidal? You like thought about it, or you attempted?
I
You
attempted.
tried.
Hmm.
Okay. How old were you when you tried to take your life?
I was 14.
14 years old. My goodness. And what did you try? Some people go to the rope, other people go to the pills, some people go to the balcony. Where did you go?
I used the rope and I went into the closet and I tried to. I already tied it up, but then
Did anybody know or suspect, or
no.
nobody knew? So you would like hide behind a solid smile. You would be very happy around people. But when you were by yourself, it was the opposite. And nobody even suspect, not even the people who were close to you, maybe your siblings or anybody say, hey, no, Brittany doesn't look okay, or
I think my mom did because um that was like it was like every night where I was always crying every night. And then
and she saw that.
yeah, and I know cuz she would like apologize to me.
She knew why you were crying.
Yeah, and she would apologize to me. But that didn't like stop that didn't stop everything or anything.
So it wouldn't make you stop feeling the way you were feeling, and it made things worse.
Hmm. Because I knew that she knew, but she didn't. Like, she was too far into it to stop.
Hmm. And then what happened when you attempted?
Um, when I attempted, my mom wasn't there, but my dad was. So it was my dad. I was in the closet, and then I just looked out to him, and then I knew that if I did that, he wouldn't have anyone.
And that's what made you stop. Okay, what would you do with the rope? Was that the only time you attempted? That wasn't the only time that you thought about it.
Hmm.
What other things would run through your mind? What would those voices tell you concerning your life, concerning?
Um, after my dad passed away, th- there were like thoughts in mine where I would think that like I don't have a purpose anymore.
So your purpose was to take care of your sick father. He passes away, so now there's no more point in living. And then what would cross your mind in terms of doing something? Like you said, the first time you tried to hang yourself, you didn't attempt, but the other times that, what were you planning on doing? Pills? Was it the balcony? Was it the car? What was it? Because you already, what, how old was he when he passed?
Yeah, I was.
18 years old. So he passes away. You took care of him the best you could for those years.
My
But
mom tried to help
uh-huh.
because when he was getting sick, that's when me and my mom, starting to get close again. But then the hate was still there. I still had so much hate towards her her part.
Mhm. And still things were just falling apart.
Hmm.
All right. And then, uh, how bad did you sink into the depression? What were you trying to do to cope? Everybody's different. What did you run?
I didn't run to any like drugs or anything, but I would always think about like leaving, like running away, and it was kind of hard. But that was one of the reasons why I joined the military to try
So,
to
so
get.
it became escape.
Yeah,
All right. And what did you do in the military? Which branch?
army.
You joined army. You were infantry. What did you sign up for?
It was
You would, count munitions and stuff like that.
mhm.
All right. What else? Did that work? Nothing against the armed forces. We're all for branches of the military and serving our country. But did that work for you in terms of your escape?
So after that, I learned to forgive. I learned to forgive my mom's partner. They're married now. Her husband.
Mhm.
I learned to forgive him.
No. We're still talking about the best. Don't get ahead of yourself. But you went into the military, and did anything get worse, get better? Things were still the same. You were still depressed.
I was still depressed in the beginning of my military career because a lot of things were still the same. All the fights and yeah.
And what did you uh, seek? Some people, when they get into a career, they want to like drown themselves in work so that they will forget about the depression. Was that something that you would do, or no? Not really.
Um, not really.
So what would you do? What would you do to cope with all of that? Because you thought, if I get into the military, that's it. I'll get over this. But you got into it and you were still not over it.
So with me, the way I was trying to cope with that was like it's in my head. I was thinking I'm gonna take revenge. I'm gonna get revenge by doing better for myself.
Uh-huh.
Like getting everything that
Like succeeding.
yeah,
So
succeeding with
success was the best revenge for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and that's why you wanted to pursue the military career.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then your success in your career, did that satisfy it or no?
No, I did forgive. I forgave, but my kind of forgiving was like I'm gonna forgive. I'm gonna forgive this person just as long as I don't ever talk to them, even though we live in the same house.
So it's kind of like I'll forgive you, but I'm not going to forgive
Yeah.
you. Kind of like
Mhm.
just the forgiving in the label sense, but not in the actual sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, Pastor Dennis, do we have any questions out there? Anybody who's asking? Anybody who's joining? All right. So in the meantime, what I want you guys to do, those of you who are watching, and by the way, remember we are live. You can go right now and share this, like as I am doing right now. You can share it with your friends and family. I believe Brittany is doing the same right now. Yeah, this mine's a little too loud. Okay, so I'm gonna go right now and I'm gonna share this here to my story. And also, if you are um, here in Guam or in other parts of Micronesia or in the Micronesian community, like I said, we just came out of our meeting out there in Palau. If we have the pictures already. Yes. Okay. Let's show here the picture of our event before we go into more questions here. This here was our meeting last night. Very powerful meeting that we had in the island of Palau. Uh, a great service that we had. Even these people came out in the middle of weather that, love, monsoon you're seeing there. This was a few minutes before the service. It was pouring rain, but they still came out. We had a flood right in front of the hotel that we had the meeting in. We're gonna see more about it tomorrow, and um, in our service we're going to have the highlights and even the testimonies of these people who came depressed, people who came with sickness and so many things. But the power of faith is greater than any power of problems that we might be facing. So again, we're live right now. It's 6:31. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit about this here. If they can show here, camera two, a little bit about this, which we are going to have this event, the power of enough, and how you tomorrow, when you come to the church, you're going to bring a loaf of bread. I'm going to tell you about this in just a minute. All right. You're watching Micronesia Time. We'll be back with Brittany Ann and the rest of her story. Depression, sadness, family problems, but it does have a happy ending. Stay tuned.
Even billions of chemical reactions going on in our brain that can affect how we process situations and experience life. Whether it be traumatic moments or simply just seasons changing, all is said to be causes of depression. The perplexing studies behind depression certainly shouldn't be dismissed, but beyond the physical factors of mental illness come the spiritual factors. Behind all the physical aspects of depression is an evil spirit that brings constant thoughts of sadness, crying spells, insomnia, discouragement, and forces you to do your best to manage the symptoms and hope things get better eventually. Depression has stolen your joy, hobbies, pleasures, quality time with family and loved ones. Depression has stolen your life, and it's not fair. You feel devastated, misunderstood, and alone. You've tried doctors, medication, and just shaken it off like everyone says, but nothing works. You're exhausted, longing to go back to a time when you were once happy. Join us at a universal church near you. We have an inspiring message and strong deliverance prayers for you or a loved one you know who is currently experiencing depression. Don't lose hope. We know there is a way out of depression. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Depression can be defeated. It's time to end depression and begin living. Sunday at 10 a.m. at a universal church near you.
So we're back here with Brittany Ann and her story, how she put an end, or how the depression came to an end in her life, and how the same can happen for you who say, I had enough. I had enough. I want out. I want a solution. I really need to get out of this. So it's going to happen tomorrow, especially at 10 a.m. Brittany, we're going to go to question number 3. Let's go. What did you do to help you change? So you mentioned a little bit about the forgiveness part, but this is where your faith comes in, because you were depressed, bitter, somewhat of a broken family. And how did you hear, or how did you find out about the church, the Universal Church? Sorry.
So, we live in Jigo, and it was in Jigo before. And I think a relative told my mom, but we didn't find the church yet.
You didn't go, or you didn't know where the building was? Or
Yeah, we just knew it was near the bank, but we didn't know exactly where it was. And
what brought you to the church? Everybody goes for a different reason. What was yours?
So we came like the first time we just came just to come.
Just like, oh, I'm gonna go to church like
Yeah,
any
we
other
want
place.
to check out the church.
Okay,
And
so
then
you do you remember which day you came?
I don't I don't remember.
Okay, and then you kept coming ever since, or no?
No, we stopped going.
You
And
just
then
you just visited once, and
mhm,
then you just went about your business. Okay, and then when did things change, or when did you like come back, or what brought you back?
when I got really sick.
You got sick.
hmm
Okay, and what was the problem with your health?
I was having problems with my menstrual cycle
Mhm.
where it wouldn't stop. It would just go all the way until I run out of blood, and then I'd have to get admitted to the hospital for
So
them to,
you needed like a transfusion. That's how bad it was.
yeah, a blood transfusion.
Was this often or not really?
Yeah, it was often.
So, and do you know for how long you was it?
I
A 3 month, a 6 month, a year?
How long it's been going? I've had this problem since 2015. Yeah, 2015.
So it was for many years you had this, and then it got like crazy serious,
hmm
and that's when you remember that no, I should go to the church.
It was my mom
Your mom, okay.
because I was having this problem and I didn't want to go back to the hospital. I didn't want to go back to the hospital. And then we had relatives in Chuk telling my mom that, well, we know what to do. We have this medicine that we can give her for
Mhm.
her to help
Local
her.
medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I, um, I was ready to go, but my mom, it was my mom's fate. She was like, we shouldn't go to this. We should go to the church,
Mhm.
because my mom is not really a local medicine. She doesn't like those things.
Okay.
Yeah, so she didn't, she knows it's gonna help me, but she wanted us to go.
You
Yeah.
you wanted to use your faith in
hmm
God, and okay. And then what happened?
So we came.
This is a very interesting part. I know this story already, but I want you guys to know about the story. So you went, and usually people go to the church with a lot of faith, but that wasn't really your case.
Yeah, I feel like I was just dragged to the church just because my mom, and I was even outside the church. Like I think I was already crying because I didn't want to go into the church.
Like a little girl.
Yeah, because I wanted to go. I wanted to do something else, but
Okay.
she was dragging me.
Do you
And then
remember which day it was? It was a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Friday. What day was it?
it was a Tuesday.
A Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, for those of you who don't know, every Tuesday is the day that we pray in the church for healing, for people who are ill to be well, and everything in between. And by the power of faith, it's not magic. It's not a trick. It's faith. Those who believe and they manifest that faith in the power of God. God does what they cannot do beyond what the doctors perceive. So then for you, what happened that day?
So I came and we did the strong prayer, and I believe, oh no, that was it. And then the pastor gave me um a bottle of water
Mm-hmm.
and told me to drink and put the water where I'm
To
having.
bless the
Yeah.
water, like we're going to do tomorrow as well. Every Sunday, you can bring a bottle of water. At the door of the church, you're going to receive a few drops of the water that is blessed here in the sanctuary. Every day, we pray, we bless, and you're going to receive it, and it's free. When you went there, you had to pay $50, right?
No,
100,
no,
2,000.
it was free.
It was free. So for those of you who think that we charge, or that, oh, you have to pay to buy, and we're not selling blessed water. It's free. Oh, all you have to do is come. Come, bring your bottle, and bring your faith as well. Don't just bring your water, but bring your faith. Then what happened that day?
And then I went home, and then by that time I was already bleeding, like already almost a month.
nonstop.
Yeah, and it was very
And that was the time that you would kind of like be rushed to the hospital because you were.
yeah. And then to me, I feel like it will never stop. It would never like it will never stop. But then I went home, and then I noticed that it was already getting smaller
Uh-huh.
and smaller.
Like it was not hemorrhaging like before.
Yeah, like before.
And you weren't feeling so weak because that's losing a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And then you went back, or
Yes. The next day we went back to join service. And then by the second day it was already gone, like complete.
stopped?
Yeah.
Everything had stopped. Okay. And then by the second day, then you were freaked out. You were panicking, or what was? Wow, what happened?
Yeah, I was very shocked. And that's when I knew that it was something. Because I never go to church before. I would go like for special occasions like Christmas and
You're the seasonal people, right?
yeah.
Some people go to church on Christmas, on Easter, somebody's birthday, Mother's Day. Like last week, we had Mother's Day. So you would be one of those. Okay, and then you went from being one of those to seeing, wait a minute, God is real. And then what took place from there?
From there, and also my mom hasn't been in church for years, like so many years.
She was the one who brought you.
Yes,
and she also was not in it for a long time.
It was also really hard to make her go to church.
She was the one who brought you to church. It was hard to bring her to church.
She would say, okay, next Sunday we'll all go to church, and then we're getting ready and she's just there. And then we say, you're not going to church? And she's like, you guys go and I'll go next time.
You all follow next time.
Yeah, but she never follows. But then after that, my family was just coming every day, and that's when I saw a lot of change, especially in my mom.
What did you start seeing change in your mom?
So my mom is a really scary woman. She's very...
What do you mean scary woman?
Like, she's very she's very strict.
She's not here to defend herself, by the way, but tell us the best way you can.
She's a good mother, but she's very like strict, and she'll beat her kids.
that Chuki's discipline right there.
Yeah, and she's very vulgar with her
mouth.
Yeah,
spit out everything, having to bleep every other word. And then you started noticing what?
She's also been smoking for more than almost 20 years, I think.
Smoking what?
Cigarette.
Did you remember how many?
She would smoke, I think, like 3 or 4 packs a day.
That's 80 cigarettes every day.
And we would sometimes, because I was working and I always had to
provide the cigarettes.
And then sometimes I would get angry because...
Stop smoking, you're burning my money.
Yeah, I would like tell her we would save a lot of money with all the cigarettes that we're buying. But after that, she also got delivered from her addiction of smoking.
So you started seeing God moving in a lot of ways. And what did you see God do to the case of your depression? Because you used to be very depressed for a good reason. It wasn't for nothing. Some people are depressed for nothing. You had a good reason, a valid reason to be so sad. But what did God do to that?
So you see how I said I forgave, but to just, as long as I don't speak to
the fake forgiving.
Yeah. After I've been coming to church, and I learned to forgive,
like
fully,
really forgive.
and really forgive, to where I would have I'm okay with sitting and talking to the person.
If you were like here right now, you would not.
Or make conversations and stuff. Yeah.
I want to kill you, that kind of situation, no more?
No more.
And what else did you notice then?
Um, I also really, really hated this person. Like, I think the
You don't have to
most
say the
hate I've,
name.
yeah, I'm not gonna, the most hate I've ever had in my life. But today I have so much love for, so much love and respect for that person.
So forgiving, um, the change of heart, and what happened with the depression?
I'm not depressed anymore.
Today, how's your present? How's your future? What's life like for you? Because when a person's depressed, they don't see much of a hope. They don't see much of a purpose. They don't see much of a where am I going in life. So, what's it like for you?
Um, I I'm so busy with my business. I just think that
So now you're a business owner.
yeah, I'm a
Okay, in what industry?
fashion.
So you have your own store,
Hmm.
you have your own brand, right? In your store, what does it make, or what is it?
We make clothing like dresses,
Like
skirts,
island wear.
yeah, island wear.
Okay, so you make island wear. Was this something that you always dreamed of, or just something like that you just bumped into, or
No, I've always wanted this.
so it's a dream come true?
Hmm.
And something that you, for as much as you did want it, because of the depression, you never thought that you were going to get there. And today you are a business owner. Today, how's the relationship between you and your mom?
We're good now. We're like best friends. We tell each other everything.
Which is very, very rare. This is very rare to see here on island. No, people getting in their own family getting along is very rare. And um, going back to the the faith, no, you came to, never went to church, or church was not your thing. Today, what does your faith have to do with your life, or what role does your faith have to play in your life?
Now, um, I know that everything won't work if I'm not. I don't. If I'm not faithful to God.
So if
So,
God's not first, it's
mhm.
worthless.
And it really, if I don't come to church, it really bothers me.
Before, it wouldn't bother you at all.
Before, it wouldn't.
You could go like a year without going to church, and it doesn't make a difference.
Years.
But today, and what about that issue concerning your father, the passing away? Were you able to get over that?
I'm over it now.
Your whole. What about the ideas of taking your life, or you know, pointless in living? You just run away, just escape.
Um,
Is that you today?
no.
No more. Okay. Now let's go to the last question, please. What do you have to say to Micronesians? I'm talking about everybody from Palau to the Marshall Islands, and everybody in between. We have Nauru, we have American Samoa, even though American Samoa is not really Micronesia, but you're part American Samoan, Carolinian, Palauans, Chamorros, Micronesians, in your case as well, Chuukese. You go through, or you went through, what a lot of them go through today: fights with the family, stuff falling apart, addiction costing a lot, problems with your uh, health, mental health issues, everything falling apart until you found God, until you found the faith, and you found it here at the Universal Church. So, what would you have to tell them? And if you want to speak in Chuukese, feel free. If you want to speak English, it's up to you. But you're going to look right here, and You're going to have as much as you like, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 35 minutes to tell, especially the young Micronesian women out there who want to live a dream or trying to live out their dream, but something's always getting in the way. It's the bad friendship, it's the bad relationship, it's the addiction, it's the depression, it's the thoughts of taking your own life. What would you have to say to them? I'm not going to ask you anything else. Now it's just this question, but what would you have to say to the Micronesian community? Even the ones that are stateside, some of them don't live here, but they are Micronesian and they're out there in Iowa, they're in Hawaii, they're in North Dakota, they're in Missouri. What would you have to say to them?
I would say that having a lot of hate in your heart is very draining, and it takes away from a lot of the good things that you can do. So if you're having this problem, like me, I was having this problem for so long, find God or find God, and He will relieve you, and you will find yourself to forgive and to take away all the hate, and then you'll see how successful you can be in your life.
So there you have it. One more person who experienced the power of God and found this word here. Can you put it up here for us again, please? Found this word, enough. You got to that point that you told God, God, enough of this depression, enough of this anger, this hatred. You put an end to it. There was a day that you came decided, right? So you might be in that situation today. You said, I had enough. I had enough of the sickness. I had enough of the depression. I had enough of the pain. And I want a solution. I want out. I want to solve this, but it's outside of my control. So what we are asking all of you to do tomorrow, arrive early. 1 hour before the service, you're going to bring your water. We're going to place the blessed water there inside. And right in the beginning of the service, the very first prayer that we're going to make is for you who say, I had enough. Bring a piece of bread, a loaf of bread like we have here on the table here. We have this piece of bread. Maybe you might have a different kind, this one or a different one that your family likes. We're going to bless it. And we're going to ask God to take this blessing to your family as well, because this will be for you, but this will be for them. What's good for you is good for them. If you're doing well, you're going to be able to help them to do well as well. But if you're falling apart, then no matter what you give them, it's just going to become more tragic, more problems, more trouble. So we invite you to come this upcoming Sunday, tomorrow, Sunday, May 18th, 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 a.m., but the doors will be open from 9. You can also come. I know a lot of you say, Pastor, I can't come at 10 because I work. I'm at the hotel. I work the morning swing shift at a restaurant. I work at the buffet. I would really love to come, but I can't because I'm caught up at being a ramp agent at the airport, and things are hard for me. I'm working at the country club or some other place, and I understand. So we have 7 a.m. service. We also have 3 in the afternoon and 6 p.m. for those of you who work at that hour. But if you don't work and you do have the chance of coming at 10 o'clock, so come at 10, bring a loaf of bread, and bring a bottle of water, and bring all of your faith. You can come with your troubles. You can come with all of your problems. You can come with your traumas, with your abuse, with your reasons why you are the way you are. That's how Jesus called us. Jesus said, "Come as you are." He did not say, "Get fixed, and then when you're done, when you're ready, then you can show up." He said, "Come the way you are." And that's how Brittany came. She came messed up. She did not come, uh, we could say, already. She came broken. She came like everybody comes, but she found what she was looking for. And the same help that she found, you can find as well. So we're coming to the end here of our program. We're gonna make the prayer right now. It's 6:56 p.m. and we're gonna make the prayer for all of you who are watching, whether here in Guam. And you might say, "But I don't live in Guam. I'm out here in Hawaii." We have our church out there in Hawaii, as we also have our church in Iowa. We have all the addresses here at the bottom, scrolling through the screen. We have our church in Washington State, also in Portland, Oregon. In now we're going to be visiting as well Kentucky, and also the state of Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri. So we're reaching out. And why are we reaching out? Because we don't know where you are, but God knows where you are. And he's sending us out there to find you guys. And I don't know who's watching. I don't know your name. I don't know your number. I don't know your address, but you can know ours. I'll give you ours. My name's Pastor Samuel. I'm here in the Universal Church in Dedido, where you can find also Brittany, where she's also going to be here. Going to be here tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Brittany's usually late. She arrives at maybe 10:30, 10:45. She has some issues with the kids that she brings, but that's fine. But you can come, you can speak to her yourself, and we are going to be waiting for you. Our address is 205 West League One Avenue. We have a picture of the church so we can show them where it's at. 205 West League One Avenue, right behind the Payless in Dedido. Maybe you've crossed by the Payless in Dedido a few times. Maybe that's where you go shopping, right across SB. Maybe that's where you get your groceries, or maybe you go here to American Grocery, or further down by Dedido Mall. Well, it's a very busy area here in Dedido, the heart of Dedido, and you can come and join us. This up there it is. That's the image of the church, the Universal Church, right here in the heart of Dedido. Dedido, right behind the Payless. So there's Payless, Dedido, then right behind the Payless in Dedido, that's the address, that's the location, 205 West League One Avenue. If they can write it down there on the CG, 205 West League One Avenue, right behind the Payless in Dedido. Right, 205 West League One Avenue, right behind, next door to Paradise Fitness. So whichever one, and also if you live in Manilao, we have our church out there in Manilao. It's next door to Fish and Con Market. So there's the KFC, right behind the only KFC. We're actually also across the street from the Payless. We're very well located, so easy for you to find. But whether here in Dedido, which is our main church, or out there in, it's kind of hard to read this address there, but 205 West League One Avenue, right behind the Payless in Dedido. So coming back to us here, that's our church in Manilao that you're seeing there. That's the KFC in Manilao. And right behind the KFC in Manilao, Fish and Con, and our church right next door to it, our Universal Church next door to the Fish and Con Market. Very easy for you to find. Whether in the central area or in the northern villages, the Universal Church is opened for all. If you're Chuukese, if you're Pohnpeian, Yapese, Palauan, Kosrayan, or maybe Filipino American, if you are Korean, Japanese, if you are Indian, maybe you have a a nationality here from the Pacific Islands, or maybe you are Asian, you are African, you are European. God doesn't care about your color, about which island you come from. Souls, they have no color, but they go through problems and they need help. And that's the prayer that we're going to make for you right now. I know that many times you say within yourself, like I'm sure Brittany said a few times, this time I'm going to church. And then this time became next time.
Mm-hmm.
That happened a few times. Maybe, do you remember how many times that happened?
I don't.
You lost count. So maybe you're going through the same. And you're saying, man, I really want to go. This is the time, and something always happens, something always gets in the way, or someone gets in the way. Well, we're going to pray right now and ask God to help you through that. Please, wherever you are, close your eyes. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, with all of our faith, I pray together with this woman, this man, this youth that is watching this program now and is saying, I found what I was looking for. I'm sick and tired of this depression. I'm exhausted from all these fights. I'm running away from my problems, but it's like my problems are running faster than me. And I can't take this anymore. I really want to change, but I don't know how to. I really want to stop, but I don't know how to stop, or it's stronger than me. Lord, I pray for those who find themselves, just like Brittany was, going through a lot of suicidal thoughts. Others who are finding themselves going through a difficult time with their families. Others who they are not suicidal, but they are so unhappy with the way life has been for them. They don't have the courage to take their own lives, but they also don't have the desire to continue living. They exist. They wake up late. They go to sleep late. They are living like a vampire, scrolling through life, but still feeling so dead on the inside. And time is passing them by. They're getting older, but they're not getting any better. They're becoming bitter, violent, aggressive, turning to addiction. Their life has become so dark. They see the devil in their lives, but they don't see your hand in their lives. I pray for those who say, I really want to go, and something always gets in the way, or someone always gets in the way. The car breaks down, the shift at work changes. Something always happens for them not to have the power or time to simply make their way to the church. In the name of Jesus Christ, that everything and anything that was getting in the way, that was holding this person back, in Jesus' name, get out and never return. Lord, I ask in your name that you may give this person strength, courage, and the same help that you provided for Brittany, may you provide for this person who's watching. Even if they're not watching live, they're watching later, doesn't matter. But that you may reach them out wherever they might find themselves. In the name above all names, the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. We have come to the end. Here is what you should bring tomorrow. Piece of bread, a loaf of bread for your family, and a bottle of water. We're going to pray for those of you who had enough. And I'm not just talking about you who have enough of depression. Perhaps your problems are different. You had enough of this sickness. You had enough of this family problem. There is an issue that has been tormenting you, and you said enough. Enough is enough. So come and join us tomorrow, especially at 10 a.m., And we leave you now with this ad about what's going to happen tomorrow. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back with more Micronesia Time soon. God bless.
Depression. There are many possible causes of depression. It's believed that several different forces can interact to bring on depression due to the millions, even billions of chemical reactions going on in our brain that can affect how we process situations and experience life. Whether it be traumatic moments or simply just seasons changing, all is said to be causes of depression. The perplexing studies behind depression certainly shouldn't be dismissed, but beyond the physical factors of mental illness come the spiritual factors. Behind all the physical aspects of depression is an evil spirit that brings constant thoughts of sadness, crying spells, insomnia, discouragement, and forces you to do your best to manage the symptoms and hope things get better eventually. Depression has stolen your joy, hobbies, pleasures, quality time with family and loved ones. Depression has stolen your life, and it's not fair. You feel devastated, misunderstood, and alone. You've tried doctors, medication, and just shaken it off like everyone says, but nothing works. You're exhausted and longing to go back to a time when you were once happy. Join us at a universal church near you. We have an inspiring message and strong deliverance prayers for you or a loved one you know who is currently experiencing depression. Don't lose hope. We know there is a way out of depression. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Depression can be defeated. It's time to end depression and begin living. Sunday at 10 a.m. at a universal church near you.